Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. The rain had just stopped. Cars splashed through puddles along the narrow street. Horns echoed in the distance while a generator hummed from the next compound. On the third floor of an old apartment building, inside a tiny one-room apartment, Precious Okonkwo sat alone on the edge of her bed. The room was neat but painfully modest. A small standing fan struggled against the humid evening air. A plastic wardrobe stood beside a narrow window covered by faded curtains. On the table were instant noodles, unopened bills, and an old laptop with a cracked corner. Her phone buzzed, another loan notification. Precious slowly picked it up, her hands trembled. She swallowed hard before opening the message. Dear Precious Okonkwo, your repayment of 48,700 Naira is due in 3 days. Failure to pay will attract additional interest and recovery procedures. Before she could even breathe, another notification, then another. Carbon, fair money, palm credit, quick cash, one after another. She closed her eyes. God, her voice barely came out. I owe almost 2 million Naira. Silence filled the room. Then she laughed, not because anything was funny, but because crying had become exhausting. She leaned back against the wall and stared at the ceiling. How did my life become like this? Everything had started 2 years earlier. Back then, life was simple. She had just landed her first office job in Lagos. Her salary wasn't huge, just enough to survive. She rented a small apartment, sent money home to her mother every month, and dreamed of one day owning a business of her own. Then she reunited with her university friends, Kiki, Amanda, Lola. The 4 of them had once shared a hostel room during university. Back then, nobody cared who wore expensive clothes. Nobody cared about designer bags. Nobody competed. They were simply friends. But life changed after graduation. Kiki became a successful tech entrepreneur. Amanda married a wealthy investment banker. Lola became a famous lifestyle influencer whose Instagram looked like a luxury magazine. Only Precious remained ordinary. Yet every weekend, they invited her. Brunches in Lekki, spa days, birthday dinners, boat cruises, weekend trips, luxury restaurants. At first, she politely declined. I can't make it this weekend. But eventually, she got tired of being left out. She wanted to belong, so she started saying yes, even when her account said no. The first loan was only 50,000 Naira. I'll pay it back next month. She did. Then came another, then another. Eventually, borrowing became normal. Every expensive dinner, every matching outfit, every girls' trip, every birthday contribution went onto another loan app, and somehow, she convinced herself everything would work out until now. Her phone rang. The screen displayed one name, Kiki. Precious quickly wiped away the tears before answering. Babby! Kiki screamed excitedly. You won't believe what happened. Precious forced herself to smile. What happened? He proposed! For a moment, everything else disappeared. What? He proposed! I'm getting married! Precious jumped from the bed. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I knew this day would come. The 2 women laughed together. For the first time that day, Precious genuinely smiled. Then Kiki continued. And guess what? I want my girls standing beside me. You 3 are my bridal train. Precious placed a hand on her chest. Really? Of course. You girls are my sisters. I can't imagine my wedding without you. Precious felt tears forming again, not from sadness, but gratitude. She had never imagined being chosen. She felt seen, important, loved. Then Kiki spoke again. Oh, one more thing. The Aso Ebi package is 200,000 Naira. Precious froze. She didn't speak. Kiki kept talking excitedly. It's genuine Swiss voile. The accessories are included. The gele, the handbag, everything. I wanted something elegant. There was complete silence on Precious's end. Hello? You there? She forced a laugh. Yes, I'm here. So, you'll do it, right? Precious looked around her tiny apartment, her unpaid bills, the loan messages, the empty food container on the table. She slowly closed her eyes. Then she smiled. Of course, I wouldn't miss your wedding for anything. Kiki screamed with excitement. I knew I could count on you. After the call ended, the room became silent again. Precious looked at her banking app. Available balance, 4,870 Naira. She whispered to herself, where am I going to find 200,000 Naira? Then another question entered her mind, one even more frightening. What if this wedding costs much more than just the Aso Ebi? She had no idea that saying yes to her best friend would become the biggest mistake of her life. The price of belonging. Setting location 1, Victoria Island, Lagos. Monday morning. The city was already awake. Buses fought for passengers. Street vendors weaved through traffic with bottles of water and snacks balanced on their heads. Inside a modern office building on Victoria Island, employees hurried toward the elevators. Among them was Precious. She wore a neatly ironed navy blue dress and low black heels. To everyone around her, she looked confident. Inside, she was falling apart. Her phone vibrated again. She ignored it. Another vibration, ignored, then another. This time she glanced at the screen. Quick cash calling. She rejected it immediately. Taking a deep breath, she forced a smile before entering the office. "Good morning, everyone." Her colleagues greeted her warmly. No one noticed the fear hiding behind her smile. Setting inside the office, her desk faced the large glass windows overlooking the Lagos skyline. Normally, she loved the view. Today, she couldn't even look outside. She opened her laptop. Before she could begin working, someone placed a cup of coffee beside her. She looked up. It was Tunde. "Thought you might need this." She smiled faintly. "Thank you." He pulled a chair beside her. "You look like you didn't sleep." "I'm okay." He raised an eyebrow. "No, you're not." She laughed softly. "Is it that obvious?" Only to someone paying attention. She looked away. There was something comforting about Tunde. He never judged her, never tried to impress anyone. He simply listened. "So, what's wrong?" She hesitated, then sighed. "My best friend is getting married. Congratulations." "Thank you." She paused. "The Oso Ebi alone is 200,000 Naira." Tunde almost dropped his coffee. 200,000? She nodded. "And that's only the beginning." He frowned. "What do you mean?" She explained everything. The fabric, the tailor, the bridal shower, the matching shoes, the gifts, the transportation, everything. When she finished, Tunde remained silent. Finally, he asked one question. "Can you actually afford all of this?" Precious forced another smile. "I'll figure it out." "No, you'll borrow it." She didn't answer. He already knew. Setting lunch break. Office cafeteria. The cafeteria buzzed with conversations. Employees laughed over plates of jollof rice and fried chicken. Precious sat quietly, staring at her food. She hadn't taken a single bite. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. "Your loan application has been pre-approved. Borrow up to 250,000 Naira instantly." She stared at it. Her thumb hovered over the screen. "This is the last one," she whispered. "After this, I'll stop." She clicked apply. Within seconds, approved. 200,000 Naira entered her account. Instead of relief, she felt heavier, like another chain had been wrapped around her neck. Setting. Lekki, luxury cafe, 2 days later. The girls gathered to discuss wedding plans. The cafe smelled of fresh coffee and expensive perfume. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Everything looked perfect. Kiki couldn't stop smiling. "I'm so happy all of you are doing this with me." Amanda grinned. "We wouldn't miss it." Lola opened her tablet. "Okay, ladies, let's go through the budget." Precious's heart skipped. "Budget?" Lola nodded. "Bridal shower, transportation, accommodation, professional makeup, photography, content creator." Precious blinked. "Content creator?" Amanda laughed. "Of course, we need beautiful Instagram content." Kiki smiled excitedly. "I want memories that last forever." Lola continued reading. "The resort in Ibadan is 120,000 per person." Precious nearly choked on her drink. Amanda casually nodded. "That's reasonable." "And the tailor?" "About 70,000. The coral beads, 60,000. The bridal shower outfit, 45,000. The wedding gift, we agreed nothing below 75,000. Precious stopped listening. The numbers echoed inside her head. 120, 70, 60, 75, 45. It was becoming impossible to breathe. Then, something unexpected happened. Kiki looked directly at Precious. "You've been very quiet." Everyone turned. For a split second, she wanted to tell the truth. She wanted to say, "I can't afford this. I've been borrowing money. I'm drowning." But pride spoke first. She smiled. "I'm just calculating my schedule." Amanda laughed. "You scared us." Lola smiled. "I knew you'd be fine." Kiki reached across the table and squeezed Precious's hand. "I knew I could always count on you." The guilt hit even harder. Setting that night, Precious's apartment. She emptied her handbag onto the bed. Receipts, bills, loan agreements, ATM slips, sticky notes with repayment dates. She picked up a notebook and started writing. Salary, 185,000 Naira. Monthly repayments, 143,000 Naira. Rent, transport, food, electricity, internet. She did the calculations again, then again, then again. Each time, the answer was the same, negative. She wasn't just broke, she was sinking. A tear rolled down her cheek, then another. She covered her face and cried, not loudly, just enough for the silence to hear. Outside, rain began falling again. Inside, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered weakly. Hello? A cold voice replied, Good evening, Precious. This is Recovery Department. You have ignored several repayment reminders. When should we expect our money? Precious closed her eyes. She knew. This nightmare was only beginning. The truth they never expected. Setting location, Lagos, 3 weeks before the wedding. 3 weeks passed. Precious had bought the Aso AB. She had paid the tailor. She paid for the coral beads. She paid for the bridal shower. Every payment came from another loan. Every smile came with another sleepless night. Every I'm fine became harder to say. Setting office, Friday evening. Most employees had gone home. Only a few desks were still occupied. Precious sat alone, staring at her computer screen. She wasn't working anymore. She was calculating debts. 2,143,000 Naira. That was everything she owed. She whispered, How will I ever repay this? Suddenly, her phone rang. Another recovery agent. She ignored it. It rang again, then another loan app, then another. Finally, she switched off her phone completely. A gentle voice interrupted her thoughts. Running away from the calls won't make them disappear. She looked up. It was Tunde. He placed 2 takeaway meals on the desk. I guessed you hadn't eaten. She smiled weakly. I haven't. They sat in silence for a moment. Finally, Tunde spoke. Precious, I need you to answer one question. She nodded. Are you trying to keep your friends, or are you trying to keep their approval? The question hit differently. She couldn't answer. Because she already knew the truth. Setting Saturday. Bridal shower resort. Ibadan. The resort looked like paradise. Luxury rooms, beautiful swimming pools, fresh flowers everywhere. Everyone was taking pictures, laughing, posting videos. The hashtag for Kiki's wedding was already trending among their friends. Precious smiled in every photo, but inside, she was counting interest charges. Every few minutes, she imagined another loan growing larger. Amanda wrapped her arm around Precious. Smile properly, you look tired. I'm okay. You've been saying that a lot lately. Lola laughed. That's Precious for you, Miss Independent. Everyone laughed, except Precious. That evening, she went outside to get fresh air. She stood near the garden, looking at the lights across the resort. She didn't know. Just a few meters away, 3 familiar voices were talking. Amanda, Lola, and Kiki. She wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but then she heard her own name. Precious. She froze. Amanda sighed. I honestly don't understand why she keeps pretending. Lola laughed softly. She wants to look rich. Meanwhile, she's probably borrowing money for everything. Kiki shook her head. I actually feel sorry for her, Amanda replied. I don't. No one forced her. If she can't afford this lifestyle, she should simply stay home. Lola added, honestly, after the wedding, I think we've outgrown her. Kiki didn't reply immediately. Then she quietly said, maybe you're right. Silence. Those 3 words destroyed something inside Precious. The women she called sisters had already decided she no longer belonged. She slowly stepped backwards. Tears blurred her vision. She walked away before anyone saw her. Setting back in Lagos, 2 days later, Precious didn't answer any of the girls' messages. She ignored every call. She couldn't pretend anymore. That evening, she visited her mother. Mama Ngozi opened the door and immediately hugged her. My daughter, you're losing weight. The moment Precious entered the house, she broke down. She cried harder than she had in years. Between tears, she told her mother everything. The loans, the lies, the wedding, the conversations she overheard, everything. Mama listened quietly. When Precious finished, the older woman gently held her daughter's hands. My child, never borrow money to buy acceptance. The people who truly love you will never ask you to become someone else just to remain their friend. Precious wiped her tears, but I feel ashamed. Mama smiled. Being poor is temporary. Pretending is what keeps people poor forever. Those words stayed with Precious. Setting wedding day, Benin City. The hall was magnificent. Golden decorations sparkled under the lights. Hundreds of guests filled the venue. Music echoed across the compound. Precious arrived, not wearing the expensive Aso Ebi. Instead, she wore a simple but elegant navy blue dress she already owned. People stared. Amanda walked over first. Precious, where is your Aso Ebi? Precious smiled peacefully. I sold it. What? I used the money to repay part of my debt. Lola looked shocked. You sold it? Kiki slowly approached. You should have told me.
Precious looked at her calmly. I tried many times. I just didn't have the courage. There was complete silence. Then Precious continued. I spent 2 years trying to look like I belonged. I borrowed money I didn't have. I lived a life that wasn't mine. And the funniest part, she looked at each of them. I thought I was doing it for friendship, but real friendship shouldn't cost your peace. Amanda lowered her eyes. Lola couldn't speak. Kiki's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, I never knew. Precious smiled gently. I know. And that's exactly the problem. She hugged Kiki, congratulated her sincerely, then quietly left the wedding, not angry, not bitter, free. Epilogue. 1 year later. 1 year passed. Precious had paid off every loan. She stopped trying to impress people. She took professional courses with the money she once wasted on appearances. Eventually, she landed a better-paying job in a technology company. Her income tripled. One afternoon, while leaving her new office, she received a message from Kiki. I'm sorry for everything. I hope one day you'll forgive us. Precious smiled. She replied with only one sentence. I forgave you the day I stopped needing your approval. She put her phone away, looked toward the Lagos skyline, and smiled. Not because life had become perfect, but because for the first time in years, she was living a life that truly belonged to her.